At the core of every technological revolution lies a question that is life or death. Where will it lead us? Will it take us to uncharted waters, to new terrains, to new forms of freedom? Or is it there to enslave us this time? For the past 12 weeks, I've been trying to answer those questions on the so-called AI revolution. Is it a new boat that will take us to uncharted waters? Or is it pretending to be something that it's not? To find out, I decided to do a little experiment. I'm a photographer and a musician, but I always had a dream of making a graphic novel and a TV series about time travel, where the characters would go back in time and explore mysteries of our past. This is Maya. She is the hero of the story. And I think it will be only fair to let her introduce this episode.
Welcome to Wanderings. Let's go. Sometimes I wish I could go back in time, but to a specific moment when the whole Earth was seen for the first time from space, the home of 100 billion people who came before us. And for the first time, our wandering mother was having her picture taken.
Imagine being able to actually see the Earth from space and to be the first one to take a picture and bring it back for everyone to see. This is the first photo where we can see the whole Earth, taken by an astronaut in the Apollo 17 spacecraft on its way to the moon 54 years ago. I think it's beautiful because it shows the continent of Africa, where I am right now, where the story of our ancestors began millions of years ago, where the drama of the human species has been unfolding for the last 300,000 years. From there, our ancestors, our cousins, spread all over the world. The space age showed a vision of a world beyond borders, undeniable proof that we share a vast, vast home. But the same technology that made that vision possible also unlocked the power for us to destroy ourselves. The same rockets used to launch satellites into space to help us connect and learn from each other can and are used to drop bombs on our homes. Today, we take for granted the wonders that the kings of old could never even have imagined. Right now, I can talk to you and you can talk to me in text, audio, video format, anywhere around the world for a fairly modest price, something that was impossible even a few decades ago. If you have trouble understanding my language right now, you can turn on the captions and read text on screen as I speak. We get used to these kinds of things. But if you take the perspective of the builders of the pyramids, the things we can do today in our day-to-day life would seem for them as true magic. We have at our disposal things that to the richest person in the world 100 years ago would be absolutely unthinkable. And to us, it's invisible. We could, for example, just flip a little switch and light turns on, even at the most modest homes in today's world. We have the ability to take a hot shower anytime we want, things that my grandmother couldn't do. We have refrigeration in our homes to preserve our meals. We have ovens and stoves, and we do like to, even today, do things in the old-fashioned way. Bread, one of the main things that started our civilization. Even though we have sliced bread, We kind of like to use our knives to prepare a meal. And as we are preparing this meal, we can get our earplugs and listen to whole orchestras, sometimes of dead people, inside our heads. We can have a banquet for kings anytime. And maybe most impactful of all, we have a device that holds, or at least has access to, most of human knowledge. Even a device that is about 10 years old can do this. The promise of all technology is to alleviate human suffering, to buy back our freedom, to give us time for the important and the pleasurable. The dream of automating the boring and difficult physical tasks is as old as civilization itself. And the idea of artificial intelligence, of bringing objects to life as thinking beings, can be traced back, I think, all the way to the ancient Egyptians with the so-called Shabti. The Shabti were these magical little figurines that you would put on the tombs of important people so that in the afterlife they would have their servants. They were somewhat autonomous, as if the people that worked for them in their real lives, and they would be brought and transformed into these little figurines, and through the proper prompting, which would be the magic spells and the things written on the tombs, they would be brought to life to do all kinds of work to the ancient Egyptians. Now, the Greeks had a little bit more of a more sophisticated and something that we would consider even plausible, which was, I think, the first science fiction speculation. The Hephaestus golden mechanical servants, for example, in Greek mythology, they were the first proposed way to create semi-autonomous people and objects like the Kurai Kriseai. I think I'm saying that incorrectly, but that's the name of these maidens made of gold that would walk around the house and do all kinds of works for the people. They had mechanical gates, mechanical tripods, and Talos, a bronze giant. To the ancient Egyptians, magic was just a form of technology. It was, for them, a real thing that, if properly prompted, would bring objects to life. To the ancient Greeks, mechanical devices could somehow, through a combination of the proper metal and the proper mechanical engineering, be made intelligent. But it's only in the last 80 years that we started combining metal and the magic of electricity to create computers. It was the first real shot, given our understanding of electrical signals in the brain and the possibilities of these machines, that the idea of true artificial intelligence, of objects made lifelike and autonomous, first seemed actually plausible. And that brings us to today. I'm recording this in early June 2026. And for the past few years, and especially in the last few months with the IPO, the initial public offering of the main AI companies coming to the market, AI has been painted as the largest and fastest revolution known to mankind. Companies like OpenAI, Anthropic, backed by the giants of the previous computer revolutions like Google, Microsoft, Oracle, Nvidia, tell us that the machines are getting intelligent exponentially fast, and they'll change the way we work and live completely and forever, and there is nothing to stop it. The way that I interpret it is that they promise that AI would be like the Egyptian Shabti workers, automating the mechanical tasks, that AI will serve as the Greek golden maidens, doing the administration work of daily life, even at a higher level. But they also promise that AI will serve as real oracles, where eventually general artificial intelligence would bring cures for cancers and the ability to replace artists. Now, that got my attention. Can you really do that? Sometimes the answers we seek can only be found through personal wanderings. When we hear the call to adventure to explore the unknown unknowns, which can only be discovered by following your curiosity and letting it show you the way. Was AI promising a land of milk and honey where our human potential would be unlocked? Or was it a warning of impending catastrophe? Were modern golden maidens making my dreams become obsolete? Sometimes I wish I could go back in time, but to a specific moment, when the whole earth was a mystery yet to be explored, the home of 80 billion people that would come after us. And for the first time, we were about to carve our deepest longings and fears into stone. It's time to do a little bit of wandering inside a time capsule that was preserved by the sands of Egypt. So I want to welcome you to the Edfu Temple, a place that actually is a time capsule inside another time capsule. Let's explore. This temple was created in the Ptolemaic era in Egypt. It was about 2200 years ago, whereas the pyramids are about 2000 years before even the creation of this building. They got all these ancient scrolls that were already very damaged and decided to restore the ancient stories and put it on the temple walls for preservation. And they also got lucky that it was caught by sand and preserved to us today. So this temple is a time machine of a time machine. As I wandered through the temple, old ideas resurfaced to reveal deep desires buried in the sands of fear. Ideas that for now remained beyond my ability. Maybe AI was indeed about to make my work as a photographer and musician a relic of the past. This has happened before. Portrait painters were replaced by portrait photographers, and now by selfie sticks. Perhaps the future patrons of the arts would buy magic spells to put on the machines, and the work of artists would be like this temple, faded colors in the ruins of better times. The thousands of panels in the Edfu Temple look to me like a giant comic book, or at least the book version of a TV series using the technology of the time. It told stories of Zeptepi, the first times, and warnings about sky serpents and ancient floods, the creation and reinvention of the world. No matter where we go around this beautiful blue dot that is planet Earth, we're always wondering if we are a way for the cosmos to know itself. As Carl Sagan once said, I think art is a way for the universe to reinvent itself, and we're the tools to do this. And the way to do this is to wander into an undiscovered country, the future. Come with me. Maybe we should see AI as a new tool to create new art forms, to unleash a flood of creativity with artists leading the way. The invention of handwritten and then mass-produced books did not stop campfire storytellers. If anything, it freed all of us to become one. Maybe now my camera could be enchanted with magic spells, and I could use my photography and my words to bring the story of Maya and her time-traveling adventures to life. For years, I wrote fragments of her story, dreaming that one day she would be in books, graphic novels, cartoons, and TV shows. But it takes a village to make any of those things, and skills that I did not possess. Maybe AI was mature enough and the right tool to let my vision come to life in a variety of styles and formats. As I walked through the temple, the story of Maya seemed not like a side quest. It was like a new land I had just discovered. My time at Edfu was coming to an end, and this place has given me a secret. And I left one of mine there, hoping one day someone would find it. I was obsessed with finding out what else was possible. Maybe we are in the prehistory of the future, and maybe the modern day pharaohs like Elon Musk and Sam Altman are correct that the building of AI data centers is the modern equivalent of building magical pyramids for the afterlife. And if that's true, I think it's time to share with you a page from the Wandering Sketchbook with a vision of what that afterlife looks for me. I have no problem coming up with ideas and plans. My Achilles heel is in proper and relentless execution. After years traveling around the world, trying different paths again and again and failing again and again, I at least have one page with the exact plan for where I want my life to be at. I want my life to be useful by sharing curiosity and creativity, by connecting cultures and peoples across time, to show them that we are one large family in a very tiny home. The way to do this, in my own way, is to explore the world, create art that goes on people's homes to inspire their journey, to connect melodies from distant lands and sister songs, to create conversation with unlikely and wonderful mentors, to create things only made possible by the collective knowledge of the human species in the 21st century. And if the AI prophets are correct, I can unleash an army of Egyptian Shabtis and Greek golden maidens to help me achieve this task and unlock this potential.
So here is the plan. Your job is to help Pedro build the Wanderings universe and bring him here. Karai Crusay, you will help keeping him inspired and disciplined. You will create a roadmap for his artistic work. Shabti, you will work on helping with production, like editing and special effects. You will create prompts and automations to all aspects of his life. We will choose specialized apps for your AI creator workflow. This will give you a content creation ecosystem to get you where you want to be. That is it, Pedro. Happy wanderings.
I wish it was that easy. It's not. They're actually lying to you. When you look under the surface and you try to actually do something using AI tools as available today, what they say will be very easy actually takes an incredible amount of effort. And it usually doesn't work. For example, I wanted to create a Wanderings passport. Open it, stamp the words like and subscribe in one of its pages. But it started doing some wacky things. It could not do it. Most of the time, it can't do what you actually ask for. It changes the faces of the characters. You can't do videos that are more than 15 seconds, and usually the safe bet is 5. It invents facts when you're doing research. It hallucinates, which can be actually incredibly funny. And very important, as an artist, you want autonomy to create your work, but it actually very often blocks you from creating what you want for random reasons. But if you slightly change the wording, it does it. Sort of. Sometimes. So you're leaving your creativity to the whims of a corporation. It's like you had a pen and you couldn't write what you wanted because the pen manufacturer wouldn't allow you. But then the AI apologists say, but in the future it will be different. They even have a phrase that they use quite often that is, this is the worst that will ever be. That logic assumes that it will always get better. But it may not. If there is one lesson from the past, is how naive we are to assume we know what the future will be. And I'm going to show you proof with a postcard from the past. In the year 1900, a bunch of artists were asked to imagine what France would look like in the year 2000. They made a series of postcards imagining what life would be like 100 years in the future. They extrapolated the technology of the time to speculate how it would deal with their fears, hopes, and desires. One of the postcards held the answer to my AI experiments. He showed a conductor in a theater, but there were no musicians. Through a mechanical device, he was controlling the whole orchestra, making music for the audience. Today we could easily reimagine this postcard with no audience at all. In fact, in the age of AI, he would be alone, in a messy room, pretending to have a conversation with a machine. And that brings us to the results of my 3-month AI experiment. And they were not at all what I expected. It was actually a lot of fun and a lot of work, working on this video, learning about these AI tools that really helped me, as you could see, start creating this new world. But what I discovered was something primal. How lonely the experience was. The promise of AI is that you will not need people to bring your vision to life, but that will rob you from the experience and the gift of actually needing other people. I became a photographer and a musician because photography and music imply a conspiracy. When people come together to create something one person could not do alone. AI will certainly have a role in my life, as I'm sure it will in yours. But it is a tool. It may alleviate some suffering, but real joy can only be found in sharing our experiences and our natural intelligence with other people. My name is Pedro Bonatto. This has been Wanderings, and I want to thank you for wandering with me. I would love to hear what you thought of the ideas in this episode, what new paths have opened up for you. I'm about to start a new adventure, and I want to invite you to come with me right here.